to say goodbye.
It's hard to say I miss you.
The time of love
Is a gruesome cruise.
I need you now, dear Lord.
When the ship of your life turns at a moment when you are expecting it not to do so, and maybe when it hits an iceberg, you really don't know what you will do. This is the show, Painful Goodbyes, and today I have Sister Nicole to talk about the loss of her sight. Welcome to the show, Nicole.
Thank you, Mr. Dube.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very much pleased that you are here. I mean, people would love to know who we are talking to.
Okay, and my name is Nicole Moyo, but I prefer it when people call me Nikki.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the name Nikki.
Right.
So yeah, just feel free to call me Nikki.
All right.
Well, I was born on the 14th of May 2000, so that means I'm 23 this year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grew up in Cholo, Ejuane, they call it so, yeah, Cholo Spec. Mm-hmm. That's where I grew up. Yeah, I'm a very friendly person, sociable person. Maybe I would say I'm a sanguine. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's my temperament. That's my personality. I like talking a lot. Yeah, I like laughing a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, someone told me this week that, Nick, you laugh a lot. Yeah, that's why I am. I giggle a lot. Mm. Yeah, I'm always happy and yeah, I like talking to people a lot.
Mm-hmm. And full of humor, I know.
Exactly. I'm a comedian.
Yeah. So, tell us about your family a bit.
Okay, I come from a family of 4, 2 gentlemen and 2 ladies. Yeah, I've got 2 brothers. The other one is 31, the other 28. Then there's me, I'm 23, and the other one is 5.
Okay.
She's only 5, yes.
All right.
That's my family.
Oh, that's beautiful. So growing up, what were your fondest childhood memories, Echolocho?
There are a lot of things that happened. When I was growing up, I was this hyperactive child. So maybe one of my fondest memories was when I was given a Bible by a pastor, Elmbano. Okay. That's when I had answered some really tricky Bible question that everyone else at church had failed to answer. So when I answered it, he then gave me a Bible, a New King James Version Bible.
Wow. I'm trying to think about that moment when this one failed and that one failed and you were the only one. So what was the feeling when you...
And I was only 8 to think of it. I was only 8
wow.
and it was so fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that means I'm so intelligent. I'm super intelligent. That's what I was thinking to myself. Yeah. And it was wow.
And you were called up front and you received the Bible.
Yes, and I took the Bible. And then sometime later, he also gave me a quarterly study guide. Mm-hmm. Again, I had answered some tricky question again, but then at that time I didn't use the quarterly much since I was a kid, so I had to give it to my grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. Now, there are things that you love, and maybe that you would want to share with us. Say, I love this and that. What are those things?
Music.
I
love singing a lot. I like composing songs. Wow. And I love singing a lot. Children's songs mostly. Right. I know this is funny, but I love children's songs mostly. Uh-huh. And then I also love reading. Yeah, my favorite author being Robin Sharma. Okay. And my favorite book that was written by him being The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful. And any excerpts from that book? Anything nice from that book that you want to share with us in the show?
That I read from that book?
Yes.
Yeah, he outlines how one can live a simple life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how he describes success as being able to live a balanced life, balancing work, family time, and investing also in your spiritual life. Yeah, mm-hmm. He talks about a man who was so obsessed with his law practice, such that he never read any books besides book on law, and he didn't have time for his family and even his health, and he died in a very tragic way. His death was very tragic. So what I learned from this, that in life you need to balance. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you've written songs, and tell us about one of the songs that you wrote.
So they never really came out. It was
So
just
what happened to the
pieces and
songs?
pieces and pieces. And I was like, no, I thought I wasn't good enough. So I just sing two songs that were written by others. And my favorite group being Focus a Cappella.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So the ideas that you had actually didn't come to fruition.
Yes.
The songs that you had. I think you have robbed us of those songs. We must hear them.
They're coming. They're coming.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So then there is this turn in your life when things were not all right. When we come after the break, we are going to talk about it.
Okay, Mr. Dube.
Thank you. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to the second segment of the show, Painful Goodbyes. I'm with Sister Nicole, and we're talking about the loss of sight. All right. You told us about the things that you love, and you love reading. And I'm thinking about that time when you lost your sight. Maybe tell us about what really happened. Take us through that journey.
Yeah, I know a lot of people really want to know what happened. Yeah, glaucoma happened, the silent thief of sight. So I discovered that I have glaucoma in September last year. That was the 19th, to be precise. Yeah, I think I can't forget that date because, yeah. But I started to discover my vision loss around July 2022 when we were coming from the Master Guide Convention, and then we were writing the mock exams. That's when I noticed that I was writing with difficulty. Especially the last 3 papers, I wrote them with so much difficulty. But then I thought it was something minor. Since my father's side of the family, they wear spectacles, so I thought maybe I'm next in line. Yeah, okay. I might be on spectacles very soon. So I thought, no, this is a minor thing. I'm gonna go to the doctor, get my specs, then I'll be fine, be good to go. Then after the mock exams, I was assigned to go and preach at Youth Effort for 2 weeks. Yeah, I had difficulty at that time. The vision was going down rapidly. Then I went for camp meeting. Then at camp meeting, that's when the vision loss decided to really show up.
Before we go to camp meeting, let's just backtrack a bit and get to the time when you wrote the examinations. There's this positivity that I seem to be hearing that maybe I'm just going to have spectacles.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it dawned to you that you are no longer going to have sight. Did you have such thoughts? And maybe tell us about that.
No, at that time I really didn't think about me becoming blind. I thought it's just a minor thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I never thought about being blind.
Okay, let's go ahead. I just had to interject.
No, okay. So yeah, when we went for camp meeting, I remember it was a Sabbath afternoon when we were singing. Yeah, since I love singing, like I said before. Yeah, we were with my friends, and then we were up there, at the front and on the stage when we were singing. After singing, we went back into the congregation, but I couldn't find my way back to my chair. Yeah, I was like, what happened? So when we were singing, we were facing the sun. So I thought, since my eyes were starting to give me problems, maybe it's because of the sun. Yeah, I thought it was going to go to become better. So I looked for my chair. With the help of people, of course, I found it. But I was so devastated. I just couldn't hold myself. I just broke down in front of the people and then took my chair and decided to go to our tent and sleep. I remember, yeah, it was an afternoon, but I had to actually take my blanket and sleep. Yeah, I was so stressed. Stress was starting to kick in. Yeah.
So this was after you had gone to the doctor and you had gotten that declaration that you have glaucoma, or before that?
It was before.
It was before.
Yeah, it was before. So I was starting to notice that vision is going down, but what's happening? Yeah, so I hadn't gone to the doctor. So
maybe before that, before we go ahead, I'm trying to think about you in the tent, and others are worshiping and you are sleeping. What thoughts were in your mind?
It was such a painful experience, considering that I had come to camp meeting to actually worship. Yeah, I told myself I want to worship because it was my first camp meeting after lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I've been locked down for quite some time. This is my first camp meeting after lockdown, and I'm so prepared to worship the Lord and, go to camp meeting like I've been doing years before COVID, and now this is what is happening to me. So I just thought God decided to do this to me right at camp meeting. Yeah, I thought, I thought it was God. I thought it was God punishing me for maybe some sin which I had committed, which I didn't know. Yeah, which I didn't know. So it was a bitter experience for me. Yeah, it was so painful.
And what tell us about your friends at that time? What were they doing? How did they support you?
They were so supportive. I remember they used to come and take me and say, let's go and pray. Yeah, we used to have serious prayer moments because everyone was noticing that something was really happening to my eyesight, and they would come to our tent and come and pray there. It's fortunate that at that campsite they prepared some place for the youth where we could pray. Yeah, we used to call the place Getsemane, so we used to go there a lot with my friends and pray during lunch, and we even fasted and prayed, but it seemed things were not really happening the way we wanted them to.
I interjected you as you were going ahead with your story. You can go ahead.
Okay, so camp meeting was over, and then I came to Bulawayo. Then when I came to Bulawayo, I think a few weeks after I just came to Bulawayo, there was a break-in at our house. And at that time, I was the eldest in the house. I was staying with my cousins. The other one was doing Form 4, the other one Form 3, and the other one Form 2. So meaning I was the eldest, and there was a break-in, and one of my cousins was sexually abused. Things were stolen, my phone was taken, and a lot of other valuables were taken. So already I was stressed about my condition, and this again, I was so devastated. I was blaming myself a lot. How could this happen to my cousin right in front of my eyes, and I couldn't do anything about it? Yeah, it was so stressful.
It was a stressful moment.
Yeah, it was a stressful moment for me. I remember sleeping for 20 hours without waking up. There was a time when I actually slept for exactly 20 hours and I didn't wake up. Yeah, it was very serious. So then on the 19th, I then decided to go to a doctor. When we got there, the doctor examined me. So actually, when he was examining me, he started with the left eye, and then was like, let's forget about this one. I was so stricken. I was like, what's happening? Why are we forgetting about this one? And then I said, just concentrate on this one. He started checking on the right one. And then I could see a bit then. So I could see him. He shook his head, let out a huge sigh, and he was like, things are really bad. So he put a chair, sat next to me, and then he asked me, do you pray? I know doctors are spiritual people, but the moment you hear a doctor talking about mentioning God, things are bad. Well, I'm not saying they don't believe in God, but what I mean is, when you hear a doctor asking you, do you pray? Things are really bad. And then I said yes, and then he told me, the left eye is already blind. It actually has been blind for maybe 2 years or so. Yeah, you were not noticing it. Because when one loses vision in one eye and the other one is left, you can't really notice. It should be as though both eyes are okay. Yeah. And then he tells me, you know what's happening to you? Have you ever heard of a disease called glaucoma? And I had no clue what that was. And he was like, no, it's a disease that causes blindness. So meaning the left eye is already blind, the disease is incurable, the vision loss is irreversible. Meaning you've already lost vision in the left eye, you're not going to regain it. And of course the right eye is already sleeping too, because over 90% of the nerves are gone. It was so, but I didn't believe him at that moment. I was like, no, this is not true. This is not going to happen to me. I was in denial. I didn't cry at that moment. I didn't, because I really didn't believe him. He then referred us to another doctor where we went on the 22nd of September. I can't forget this date. I really can.
Remember the date.
Yeah, I still remember the blind versary.
Yes.
So, the other doctor, when we went there, he then also confirmed the same thing. To actually tell me, no, you know what, you are becoming blind. That's what is happening. All we are going to do is try and preserve the little eyesight that is left in this other eye, but I'm not really sure if we are going to win this one. So I was put on eye drops. Yeah, I took the eye drops, which were supposed to lower the pressure in my eyes so that the sight is preserved. Went home, took the eye drops. Then after 2 weeks, went back for review. They told me, your sight is still going down. The pressure is not going down, it's still going up, meaning the eye drops are not working. Okay. I remember I was put on so many different eye drops. There was a time when I was using 5 drops in one eye and even some tablets.
Different types of
eye drops in 2 different tablets. I thought things were really bad. But so every morning I would actually wake up, peep outside the window, trying to measure if the eyesight is coming back, is it improving, and every day I'll get disappointed because the vision was going down. I remember there was a house that was a little bit distant from our house. So that's the house that I was using to measure the eyesight. So every time I would peep out, try to look, and each time that house seemed to disappear. Yeah, it seemed to disappear. A lot of mist was coming in between me and that house, and things were really bad. And then the vision began to go down slowly. The doctor suggested that we do a surgery, which I underwent. It was meant to try and preserve the sight since the eye drops were not working. The another option was the surgery, which was performed on me it was the 3rd of April, this year. After the surgery, the pressure went down a bit for quite some time. I remember it went as low as 10, which was very good. But after a few weeks, it went up again, shot up. It was at 16, which is very abnormal. It should be at least at 21. And it was a 60, so I was really losing the battle. I was so depressed. At that time, I wasn't stressed, but depressed. I was dying. I remember I spent days sleeping. I used to wake up only when going to bath and when eating, whenever. But that would happen only when they would force me actually to eat, because I didn't even feel like eating. I lost a lot of weight. So that people were asking me, what's happening? We know you are stula. Yes. You are stula. What's happening to you? And I was so depressed, and then I wasn't talking to people much. And even on social media, I wasn't there anymore. There was a time when I really resigned from social media because I really didn't want people to know. Because I didn't know how people were going to take it. So I was like, no, look, I don't want people to know about this. Even my friends, my closest friends, some of them didn't know what was going on. I was just away from them. They would call and I wouldn't pick at times. And there was a time when I actually had to remove my SIM card from my phone, put it away, because I didn't want to talk to people. At home, when others were in the sitting room, I would be in the bedroom. I didn't want to talk to people, not even my family members, because what I was going through was a lot. But I didn't cry in front of them again. I would make sure I cry when I'm alone. When I'm alone, I try to act strong in front of them, but cry when I'm alone. I would wake up at night, cry, pray. Pray to God. And I prayed a lot those days, a lot. Remember, sometimes I would pray and until I didn't have words to say, and I would just cry, just lie on the floor and cry it all out. It was very devastating. It was very devastating. It was a tragic moment for me. Yeah,
Thank you very much for sharing this bit of the story. Please stay tuned as we wait for the third and final segment. Welcome back to the third and final segment of the show, Painful Goodbyes. If you're joining us, I'm with Sister Nicole. So there's that day when you were declared blind, and you even wrote it on Facebook. Let's talk about that. How did you arrive at such courage to declare publicly on Facebook?
well, by the time when I was declared blind, that was in June. Yeah, I'd already accepted the condition. Yeah, I'd really prayed to God, please help me to accept this. Well, I didn't want to attend counseling, so I didn't go for counseling. I actually pulled through the depression alone, and of course with prayer and everything. So by the time the doctor declared me blind, I had already accepted the disability, though I was still broken here and there, but I was already up on my feet and ready to face this whole thing.
On your own.
Yeah, and ready to enjoy. Ready to enjoy.
I'm just thinking about when you lost your sight, what did you lose?
Yeah, besides the vision, yeah, when I lost the sight, I lost friends. Yeah, I lost most people that were close. Some of them, yeah, went away. And I also lost my confidence as a person, as a lady, yeah, you know, thinking when I go around places, I'll be hitting on things, bumping onto things, and that can take away your esteem and everything. I thought I no longer have value. Yeah.
What are those words that strengthened this notion that you no longer have value? I don't know whether somebody said those words, if they are there.
Nobody actually said. I was the one. I was the one taking away the value from myself. I was the one who no longer saw myself as a person. Yeah, my self-esteem dropped. Yeah.
There's something about religion in times of difficulty, about spirituality and religiosity and your relationship with God at that time. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, what Mark Finley always says, that faith is a healing power. It's actually true. I proved it at that time. Trusting in God and believing in God and believing His promises can actually help you to move from depression. Because even if what you're praying for doesn't come, even if God doesn't answer your prayer the way it does, because living with hope does something to your mind, to your broken heart. It heals. It heals so much. So faith is a healing power.
You spoke, sometimes when we were discussing, you spoke about the issue of people who were sending verses to you. Maybe you'd share what that did to you.
At that moment, I didn't like it. I was so angry. People were sending me verses. I was like, so you people think I don't know all these verses. I know these things. I know everything about this. So what you're simply trying to tell me is that I have little faith. Is that what you're trying to tell me? I didn't want people sending me verses. I had to actually post it on my status. That, please look, don't send me these things anymore. I don't want them. I don't want to hear of these things. I know them and they're not working at all. They are not. Because I thought they were not working, because to me, God was supposed to answer instantly.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Interestingly, you still went to God to pray. So tell me about that. There should be something about your relationship with God, even if you didn't like verses.
Yeah, there's something about love. You know, when you love someone, even if you're angry at them, you find yourself talking to that person because, you know, you can't imagine an existence without them. Yeah, so I couldn't imagine any existence without God. So no matter how much angry I was at him, I would always go back to him because he was the only being I could trust. Yeah, and the only being that I loved that much.
So there are people who may have been helpful. I don't know whether you want to talk about them.
Yes, a lot of them. Besides my family, there was Pastor and Shepherdess Matumbo. They were so helpful. Even up to today, they are now like part of our family. They were so supportive. And there was also a friend of mine, Ayanda Dube. He was so supportive. He went through the depression with me. And there was also Zindebele. Yeah, he was so supportive. He used to send me the verses that I didn't want. He used to say, tell me about Jairus' daughter. I keep on believing, whatever. I didn't like those things, but, you know, after some time, it was really so helpful. Yeah, he's one person who helped me a lot through the depression.
So I don't know what could be those things that you want people to know so that they can avoid those things when they are dealing with people who are like you, who are going through difficulties.
I would say, in short, don't force Jesus down people's throats. Yeah, when people are going through stuff, don't try to act religious on them. I mean, they believe in God. No matter what they're going through, even if they look devastated and they look like they don't believe in him anymore, trust me, on their own, when they are alone, they pray to that God. So you don't really need to say statements like, be strong. You know, a Christian shouldn't be like that. You know, you are strong, you should be strong because you are a Christian. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm depressed, but I'm a human being. Even Christ himself was depressed at some point. Yeah, he broke down at some point. So I'm human. I'm doing all what a human being does, yeah, when they are going through things that are overwhelming. And there is nothing small. There is no small stress like, you can't be stressed by this. No, if it's too overwhelming for me, it is. Yeah, it is.
Beautiful. In one sentence, what word of hope would you give to those who are going through difficulties?
Well, I would say God goes with you into the depression. Yeah, he never leaves you. So go through the grieving process. Do all you need to do to grieve, and after you're done being depressed, yeah, to those who are going through the vision loss as mine, you can always come to me and I'll show you how to enjoy this. You will enjoy it. As soon as you are done being depressed, you will definitely enjoy this.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much for your candidness in sharing this story and your openness in adding lightness in darkness. And thank you very much for me, Skombuzo Duve, Nicole Moyo, and the crew behind the scenes.
It's a pleasure.
It's a wrap.
It's painful to say.